It may sound magical, but the Sleeping Beauty diet is no fairy tale. If you're sleeping, then you're not eating. That's the logic behind the disturbing new trend, the Sleeping Beauty diet, where people take sedatives to force themselves to go to sleep for abnormal periods of time. 10 hours, 12 hours, even 20 hours a day in extreme cases, essentially attempting to sleep days or weekends away for a skinnier frame. Followers dream of waking up with a smaller dress size, but in reality could be creating a nightmare for their body and mental health. This Sleeping Beauty diet, it's also known as narcorexia, clearly dangerous, potentially deadly. What's sad is I'm sitting here on stage saying this is becoming a trend.
That's right. So it started in these pro-anorexia communities where people log in on forums and they basically encourage each other in their behaviors. And a lot of this is about tricks on how to trick providers, treatment, doctors, families that you have an eating disorder. So when I used to work at an eating disorder facility, I can't tell you how many times during weekly weigh-ins, these patients would come in with quarters in their underpants to try to make it seem like they were gaining weight. I had to tell them, please take the quarters out of your underpants so that you can step back on the scale. I mean, it was really incredible what they will do. And so this is just an extension of that. So for years, there has been a prescription on these websites where these eating disordered individuals are saying, here's what you do. You sleep more than 10 hours a day. You eat no more than 400 to 500 calories a day. And you have to exercise for at least a 250 calorie burn.
Look at that up there. This is one of the websites, and they are literally recommending extreme calorie restriction. On day 1, saying 500 calories, day 2, 100 calories, day 3, 300 calories, then on day 4, fast. This is such extreme malnutrition that it could be deadly. And so on top of it, the way they're accomplishing this extreme restriction is by forced sleep.
Forced sleep. And of course, we know all of the risk factors related to that, because if you sleep more than 9 to 10 hours a day on average, 21% more likely to get diabetes, 38% more likely to get coronary heart disease. And depression is linked with hypersomnia. And so we have all of these other risk factors that are lining up, and some of these individuals are even taking sedatives to force themselves to go to sleep. And we know the danger of addiction with.
Well, let me step back and say this. This idea of sedating yourself, combining it with severe calorie restriction, malnutrition, potentially also severe dehydration, if the goal is to truly drop as many pounds as possible. This is one of those, when you start putting sedatives into your system, you might not wake up.
Right, exactly.
What would be a red flag if you suspect someone might be doing this?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of secretive behavior. So they're going to make a lot of excuses for why they weren't around and why they're going to sleep. Maybe they're tired, they have to get up early. So they'll start to make a lot of excuses and really keep to themselves. And so I think as a family member, as a close friend, if you see people who are isolating, you have to pull them back out, ask the questions, even if you feel like you're being annoying, because you could save their life.
If you think someone has an eating disorder or they're developing an eating disorder, you want to make sure you get them into treatment, because the sooner they get into treatment, the higher the probability is that they will actually overcome that particular issue.
Exactly. They can't do it on their own because their brains are malnourished, and you're asking that malnourished brain to make good executive decisions about what I should do to make my health better. And so you do need to get professional help, because eating disorders is one of the biggest mental health disorders that has a huge medical correlation. People die early.
I was going to say this is a medical emergency and the deadliest mental disorder.
Absolutely, that's correct.
And so this is one where earlier you get help, the better. And if you do know someone who's struggling with an eating disorder, head to our website for resources and help.